Were you ever in a situation where you're kind of seeing someone, but then suddenly, for whatever reason, the hotter girl comes in or a hotter guy comes in at the office or in your school, and you're like, wait a minute, they're more for me? Well, in this episode, we'll see that. New guy and new girls come in and changes the dynamic completely for the group. Spoiler alert, Too Hot to Handle Season 3. They put a bunch of people on an island, beautiful island, lots of food, comfortable residents, and they're not allowed to hook up, or if they do, it costs them money. Okay? So they're trying to make genuine connections. That's, I guess, the point of the show. Let's see what happens.
This is bed at the moment. Like, I'm happy to be in your bed, but I just also really still do want to talk to other people and to get to know people.
So Georgia is basically saying, you know, I like you so far, but I'm not sold. So I want to get to know more people. She's still sleeping on the same bed with him, but she wants more.
I feel like, you know, I want you to do that as well.
That's what a girl says. I had an ex-girlfriend who told me this. He's like, hey, what about other girls? Aren't you interested? But what they're really saying is, I'm interested in seeing other guys, right? So instead of saying I'm interested in seeing other guys, they'll say, well, aren't you interested in dating other girls? And they'll say that to you. Girls do that. And it's her way of saying she wants to see other men.
I do want a bit of space.
Okay, I'm not sure what happened with them off camera, but this guy was like, all right, pick you, you're it. And Georgia's like, I'm not. He seems pretty smooth. He's got an edge. He's an attractive guy. So I don't know if there's something wrong with his game. Maybe not. But she is not feeling it. So sometimes this happens in dating. I would say, though, that if I was Devin, I would have been like, are you in, or it's okay, but I'll take it slow, right? Like, I wouldn't have jumped in right away. And I do think that Georgia either has we don't know for sure, but she either has a commitment problem or she's just very, very clear about what she wants. And as she's dating these guys, it's very clear to her that these are certain non-negotiables and these guys just don't have it. So I'm not sure which one, either or, if it's healthy or not. I can't tell from just the footage from the show.
So I'm more like a ball of energy, like bouncing around. Like, and I
We
need
can see that.
And I need someone like
Just a little bit.
just a little bit.
So I like how Stefan didn't waste any time. He just went, all right, you're not into me, Georgia? Cool, I'm going to go for the next girl. I like that momentum, right? It's like, don't waste time on someone who's not going to give you the same, and just move on.
And I need someone to like bounce off of that good energy.
Can you do me a favor? Yeah. Can you go get us some new drinks?
This is called isolation. So whenever you're at a party with a girl, it's important to get one-on-one time with her when no one's around, because at that moment you can physically escalate and talk about more things when you know no one else is around. That us bubble that you're creating creates that intimacy. And this guy is smart, right, Stefan? He's like, all right, can you get us some drinks? And then Harry goes away and now he's got that moment with her, right?
Yeah. But what's your own pleasure then?
Stefan is making me horny.
He's got that vibe. He's got that bad boy vibe. His gaze, look at his eyes. If you're a girl in his presence, right, you can feel that energy field. And this is what's happening right now.
Do the math for you.
So let's have some fun then.
I'm gay.
The way he did it was pretty cool. Let's have some fun. She thought about it. She's like, I'm game. And then he just kind of lightly grabs her face towards. It's a very dominant move. It's done smoothly. Well done, Stefan. This is clinical in terms of physical escalation to a kiss, okay? Verbally, it was also very good. He got the friend away. They were isolated. They had the one-on-one time. He told her, why don't you sit over here? He closed the distance between them. And then he made a verbal suggestion, why don't we break some rules? And she's like, I'm game, okay? Very, very well done sequentially, how to physically kind of navigate and escalate smoothly to the kiss.
I feel like I'm gonna have to try and win her over. Hopefully we can get that a little bit closer.
You take me high into the sky.
I like these two. I mean, they started out as friends and then it seems more organic. They laugh about like little jokes and stuff. That's when you know like it's more than just physical. You might tell a joke that you think is corny, like some dad joke, and she'll laugh because she likes you or she has the same sense of humor. That's just when you know like you have more than just a physical connection. When you're really tapped into someone like that connection, sometimes you even share little gestures or little like animal noises or like little sounds that you make and then they'll be like, yeah. There's more than just the verbal connection. There's actually a frequency underneath it, right? I talk about the 7 layers in my other videos, but there's 7 layers of like connection triggers and attraction triggers where you're like, this person gets me without saying anything. And I think these two have that.
You want to be here. I feel like there's nothing here for me anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you lie about stuff. When you're being a player, you lie on a show that has cameras everywhere. You get caught, and then no one else wants to talk to you. But at least he could have tried gaming some of the other new girls. I feel like he just kind of gave up.
I love you, Dave.
They had to get rid of Jazz, but you know, I think she kind of rejected Obi a little bit because he was too short, and I didn't like that because, you know, she's not the most attractive girl in my opinion on the island, right? And so who cares? You're supposed to be there to give someone a chance. I feel like she didn't really open up that much.
Do you know what I mean? Just spending time with you and stuff like I'm enjoying.
I obviously do like Harry, but I find it so hard to open up.
Getting into a relationship is scary because you have to open your heart in a way to the other person where if they reject you, it's going to hurt. It's going to sting a little bit. And so she's struggling with this right now. I love their conversation though. It's getting to the real issues. They have real conversations, right? Harry's like, you know, I've been hanging out with you as a friend, but I just realized that it's under my nose the whole time, and I'm starting to get to like you more and more the more I spend time with you. And she's like, yeah, me too, but I'm afraid, and you know, these are some of my vulnerabilities. So I like these two. I like the type of conversations that they have. It feels real to me. It feels authentic. It feels like they're trying to grow as people through this process of dating.
Feel or like the emotions that you bring out of it. And the thing is, you can't.
On the other hand, you have these two, who I can't stand. Okay, listen to their conversation and the difference, the energy vibe and the words that they use, right? The difference between them and Harry and Beau.
Put a price on like the way you feel or like the emotions that you bring out of me. You can't put a price on that.
Yeah.
Lana, if there's one thing you could do for your boy Nate tonight, make this watch go green.
You can't put a price on, you know, the emotions you feel. I want to kiss you. Make the watch go green so we can make out. Everything he's saying, his mind is on one thing, right? Nothing he said so far makes me feel like he wants to get to know her as a person. And she can't see this either. So there's two immature people. You attract what you are. Hey, I've done it, man. I'm guilty. Sorry. You attract what your energy frequency is. When I was immature, I attracted immature girls. When I had a lot of like trauma and anxiety and anger, I attracted someone who was attracted to that type of energy field. And here you have two people that are overly attracted to irresponsible flirting around. I mean, they make out and they kiss and stuff, but I haven't heard any sentence from either of these two that shows me that they're interested in each other in any way but physical. Maybe they're more, you know, insightful off camera, but I'm not seeing it in the footage.
Usually I find an excuse to get out of something when nothing's really wrong.
I feel that deeply, man. I resonate with that.
So I think that the guy that's running this workshop is actually pretty good. He's getting the guys to write like their biggest fears, their biggest insecurities, their biggest like emotions on a board. And then they throw paint on it to kind of release that energy. And he got the guys to talk about it. And you can tell that the guys are actually really into the exercises, that actually are trying to improve themselves. When they speak about it, there's a level of realness to it, level of like continuous insight and continuous improvement. And the guys that are not into it, they're like, yeah, I kind of like this, you know, yeah. And you can tell they're not into it. You can just see in their face, their energy, everything. One of the things I want to quickly discuss with you is that we talk about toxic masculinity, right? But as men, I think we also have a hard time expressing our real emotions, especially in the Western culture, because it's almost frowned upon. Like, boys should not cry. Boys should not be talking about sensitive things like being insecure. We should be alpha males. We're players, right? Dude, I can tell you that most of the players I know, including myself at one point in my life, they became players because something happened to them. And they feel like being a player gives them more power or control over their own lives. And when in fact, they're actually looking for something more. I encourage male and female, but particularly my male clients, to be able to express their feelings, to come to terms with how they really are about certain things. And once you're aware of that, then you can kind of take it where you go. But if you can't even admit to the truth of where you are, then you can't get to where you want to go, because you're not even truthful with yourself about where you are right now. I see so many guys, they're so caught up in like this image, like I'm this guy on Instagram, this is who I am, that when you hang out with them, they spend all their energy trying to convince you that they're here when they're actually here. And what happens when you see them a year, 2, 3 years later? Because they spent all their energy trying to make the world think they're here, they haven't made any progress here, and they're the same person, and a lot of times same financials, same social life, same dating life. But when you let this go and you're like, coach, this is where I am now, and where I am now isn't great, but I need help, then I'm like, cool, that's good for you. Now we can see where you are, we accept where you are, we acknowledge the truth of that. Then with that, I know now how to take this and move it forward, move it into a higher plane and develop and get the results that we want. But without letting that ego go, without letting that facade go, you can't make improvement. And that's the first step for a lot of guys that are stuck spending a massive amount of energy trying to prop up this image of something that they're not.
That you're interested in, then absolutely you're more than welcome to explore that as well.
At work, one of the things I needed to change in myself was to control myself and not the situation.
So remember what I said about the girl when she wants to see someone, she's like, well, I want you to see other girls too, right? It's like a common excuse that women use because they know that as a woman in her prime, it's easier for her to meet other guys than a guy in his prime, because a guy actually has to learn how to go out there and hunt for himself, because girls are not just going to approach him like women experience, right? So that's a common thing women say. The other thing I really like about Stev is that he learned from his retreat, right? He learned from the lesson, the self-development lesson. He learned that because he was insecure, he felt not safe, that he wanted control over things. And he's like, okay, I can't control the situation, but I can control myself. And I love that about him, because even though he looks like a bad boy player, at this moment, he's like, well, I can't control if two girls decide that I'm not the right guy for them. But what I can control is how I feel about it. I'm going to continue improving myself. I'm not going to take this too personally. And that's the power you have in all your moments in life, to take control of your emotions and how you feel about the situation instead of the situation itself.
I need to let her go.
Yeah.
When you're able to let go like that and not hold someone hostage, it actually makes you more attractive for the next girl or for other girls, okay? And I'm sure after the show, this guy's just like getting inundated, right? Because he was able to exemplify, display a level of growth and abundance and freedom in a way that perhaps other people haven't on the show. This is just my opinion. I mean, he could have other flaws that I don't know about. Maybe the girls are breaking up with him because he smells bad, or maybe he's not that smart, and conversationally they realize he doesn't have an education. I'm just guessing here. I don't know, but it could be another reason I'm not aware of. But so far, what I see on footage, the guy's growing and he's got an edge. And I think women would find him attractive in the real world.
I think.
I don't find you weird, I find you really fit.
Again, I hate this like overemphasis on looks, right? Like, I'm a bit of weird person. I'm like, great, Georgia, how in what way are you weird? And get to explore that. To have her tell you her weird stuff. That's a connection. Now this little weird thing about her that other people don't know. But instead he brings it back. Well, I like that you're fit. Look, girls like Georgia, right? I mean, she's not even the most attractive girl. She's just one of the more attractive girls on the island that the guys like. But take it somewhere non-physical, and especially when a girl of beauty is often told she's beautiful. Because so few guys do that, it actually is unique for her, and it's memorable. Now, she's laughing anyway because the guy's hot. It's like a hot girl complimenting her looks. Sure, I'll take it. Thank you, right? And the first time that someone you perceive as really high value is saying you're beautiful, you're just like beaming, right? But I can tell you that for the majority of girls in their peak, in their prime, that know how to dress up, do makeup, and look good, they've heard it hundreds of thousands of times by the time they're 25, okay? So it's nothing unique.
It's hot in here. It's really hot.
Look, it still works. If you're like having good looks, you'll get by on life, right? It's like having inheritance money, you'll get by on life. But what if you lose the inheritance money? Or what if your dad disowns you, right? It's like, all right, go out there, Giovanni, and create a company on your own. Do you have the entrepreneur skill sets, right? It's like, you can get by, girls will still like you, but like, why not acquire the skill anyway? Then you're no longer dependent on luck or dependent on your looks, which can go away in a moment's notice, right? So,
Like, I know I feel something, or what do you say?
We all came here to meet people
I think so too.
and have fun.
I like that he asked for her permission. It's like, what do you say? Where are you at? And Georgia's telling him in a soft way, we came to have fun, okay? I think he was a little too eager on the kiss. Again, I like going for it and then just kind of respecting that push and pull. you know, just there. And then, you know, and these guys are just sitting down like, ah, or, you know, I think it's a little too fast for me personally.